Hello and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, hi, hey, hello. My name is Meg and we do crafty things here. So if you like crafty things, please do consider subscribing. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for subscribing and tuning in to another video. So today we're in part 3 of our Not Along and we are kicking it old school, because we are doing just hand view today, a voiceover, and I'm talking quietly, which is reminiscent of my earlier videos when I was trying to stay quiet for a newborn sleeping. In this case, the footage you're seeing was recorded on Halloween evening, and we took my daughter out trick-or-treating. This was her first year going. She loved it. But when we came home and she had settled in, she had had kind of a stuffy nose before. Once we had settled in, she started to develop a cough and stuff. So right now she's got a pretty nasty little cold going on and she's not sleeping the greatest. So I can't do my normal intro because normally I'm a little bit louder in that and I've got all the lights on and everything. And I just don't want to disturb her any extra when she's already having some troubles sleeping. So we're kicking this super old school, quiet voice, and just hand view because, like I said, I can't really do my normal intro. And that's going to be the same probably for the next video as well. I have the knotted recordage filmed already for that because I can sit and kind of just plug my headphones in or whatever and I don't have to make any noise to record the nodding. So I do have this footage as well as footage I filmed today. So I do have a couple parts here filmed all ready to go for you guys. And if she's feeling better and sleeping better and stuff, I will film intros for them tomorrow night. But right now she's not. So we're just going to stay quiet and a little more ASMR-esque, I guess. Yeah. So anyways, hopefully you guys had a great Halloween. This was, like I said, last year actually my daughter had the flu. It was like fever, the whole 9 yards. So she didn't go trick-or-treating. And with everything going on, there weren't really kids trick-or-treating last year anyways. So this was her first year actually going trick-or-treating. And like she knew what it was from TV and stuff, but I don't think she fully comprehended what it was going to be. So every time we went to a door, they'd drop the candy in her little bucket and she would immediately grab it out and turn around to me and be like, Mommy, look, after every single thing. And then by the end she'd leave one door and be like, okay, next door, which was pretty cute. And luckily weather held out here, which is major surprise, because in Canada you generally are trick-or-treating with your snowsuit either under or over your Halloween costume because it snows almost every year religiously on Halloween. And this year it didn't. It was actually fairly nice out. It was above 10 when we went out, and I think it had just hit like 0 after the sun had completely gone down and everything when we got back. So it really wasn't that bad at all. I really enjoyed it, and hopefully next year she'll be feeling better. We can go longer because I know she was really liking it. And yeah, how did your Halloweens go? Do any of you have chillins that you took out, or did any of you go out and do anything? Maybe you're out there trick-or-treating. I have a friend who is like my age, okay? She's in her 20s, but she's short and she looks very young. So she has a tendency to dress up and take out her little cousins and she just trick-or-treats with them and no one questions it. She can fully trick-or-treat like a child and no one questions it. Which, I mean, like, fair enough. Why not cash in on that if you can cash in on that? I could not. At like 5'10", it's kind of a giveaway. I am not a child. But I didn't even dress up this year. Next year, I think I will. I noticed a lot of the parents here were dressed up as well, and I seem to, like, I remember when I was a kid, the area that we trick-or-treated and the adults, like the parents, weren't generally dressed up, so felt very inspired. Next year I think I will dress up, so that will be fun. And also so much candy, oh my gosh, insane. I'm like hiding it because she just wants to sit and eat it. I mean, like, same, I want to sit and eat it, and I am like restraining myself because I don't know about you guys, but I remember being furious whenever I woke up and found out my mom had ate some of my candy, because she used to leave the wrappers on the coffee table. Like, it wasn't even like she got rid of the evidence. She'd leave it there for you to find. Anyways. Halloween trauma. My candy was eaten. Such a first world problem. Oh my gosh. Anyways, other than that, it's been pretty good here. I've been getting some nodding in and stuff. Hopefully you guys have been too. I always get to this time of season and the crafty bug just really starts to hit, and I don't know whether it's just it cools down, so then I'm like all the crafts, all the things, and like I'm one of those people who starts mentally preparing my list of gifts for people in like summer, like August. I'm generally asking people, so like, any ideas what you want for Christmas? And they're like, Megan, it's August. I'm just coming up with a list now. I'm like, I've already started buying stuff for Christmas. I just do that because I don't like to shell out all at once. But also sometimes you can find cool things, different seasons that are like not just Christmas themed, you know what I mean? But I think around this time of year, part of it's the weather change, so it's like, oh, knitting, crochet, just stuff that you maybe don't want to do as much in the summer kind of picks up when you get to this fall season, and also just the crafting to start for gifts and stuff. This year, I'm hoping to maybe come up with a series of things that could be made for gifts. I wanted to do it last year and then just never had the time or ability to do it. So this year, I'm thinking I might do a series of gift videos, and I've thought about it far enough in advance that I can plan and film and record and edit and everything accordingly. So I'm thinking that might be a fun thing to do this Christmas. And I'm also playing with the idea, I know we had talked about it briefly in one of the live streams. I've been thinking about doing a knot along every season. So like we're doing this one, it's fall. Last year it was specifically like Halloween themed. This one's kind of just more fall themed. But then I was thinking you could do like a winter or a Christmas theme, or even, I'm not opposed to exploring other holidays. Like, I celebrate Christmas, but if we find a cool, you know, Hanukkah pattern or Kwanzaa or something, I know some of the dates don't quite align the same, like Eid or all the different holidays, just like something like a winter holiday or even just like snowflake themed pattern, that'd be cool. And then in the summer we can do, there's always so many great summer patterns because I feel like the hobby picks up in the summer. It's just like a summer craft to me anyways. So I feel like that could be fun to do a knot along every season. Tell me what you guys think about that, if you think that would be too much or if you think that would be fun. So we do one for like fall, winter, spring, and summer. Pretty standard. And if there's a correlating holiday we want to attune to, absolutely we can do that if we want to. And I feel like I'd maybe do it the same way we did this one, where I just kind of pull a handful of patterns that I would like to do and then just put them up to vote. I think that's the best because I don't mind taking suggestions, but ultimately I don't want to get stuck making a giant pattern that I don't really care about. You know what I mean? I want to enjoy this as much as you guys do, so I think that's a fair compromise. And speaking of patterns that I am loving, obviously I'm recording this voiceover after I've already recorded the next part 4 of actual knotting, and this is turning out so good. Like, I am in love with this pattern, and I don't know whether it's just this pattern or what, but suddenly I've just had the urge to just knot and knot and knot and knot and knot and knot and knot, and I haven't had that in a while. It's not that I haven't been unmotivated, but I just haven't felt the urge to like strongly knot outside of what I was filming. Like, I felt like I was filming fairly consistently, and the amount of knotting I was doing, I was enjoying, and it was fulfilling what I wanted. But now I'm finding myself knotting for filming, and I'm like, I want to start a project on the side. So that's kind of nice, because I haven't had that feeling in a while. And again, I think it's the change of the seasons, the cold weather coming in, and I'm like, oh, outside? No, we don't do that anymore. I don't know, I think it just gives cozy vibes to me. Crafting correlates to cozy in my mind. Like, there's just something about it that's comforting to me. Relaxing, always has been. What about you guys? Do you guys do crafting as just like something to keep you busy, or do you find it more of like a tedious thing or a more serious kind of business thing, or do you correlate it to like comfort and cozy and that sort of thing? And do you guys feel affected with like your crafts and stuff? Do you feel a certain time of year you feel a lot more motivated to craft or do certain crafts? Because I definitely feel like my yarn work crafts always pick up in the fall and winter months, and then the bracelets and Rex lace tend to be like spring summer for me, but I always dabble a little bit in everything all year round, so not to worry there. We won't be ceasing bracelets anytime soon, but I would like to expand some more crafts this year and maybe do some gift ideas and stuff. So if you have any suggestions or things you would like to see tutorials for, let me know down below, and I'll either look into them or take them into suggestion. No, you're leaving the suggestion and I will take it into consideration. English, Megan, English. You would think that I don't own like 300 books. My gosh. I actually don't own like that many anymore. I used to own about 200, and I moved and I got rid of so many books. It wasn't even funny. Like, it was kind of painful. Also because I tried to like throw them up for sale for cheap on Kijiji and like Facebook Marketplace, and no one wanted them. So eventually I just filled up like reusable grocery bags full of books, and I just left them in the lobby of my condo building here with a note on them that said free. And to be fair, there must be another bookworm in the building, because they disappeared within an hour. It was like I took them down, I dropped them off in the elevator lobby, because that's where like everyone comes up from the underground parking into the building, and not a lot of people use like the front door regularly. So I always put, if I have anything that I just want to get rid of, I put it down there. And the books, I literally dropped them off. Then I went upstairs and like changed my clothes or whatever, got my stuff, and went to go down to my car, and it was already gone. Like within an hour, someone had scooped, and I had put 3 or 4 bags of books down there like that. And every single time, within an hour or 2 hours, they were gone. So I feel good at least knowing that someone who loves reading as much as I do hopefully has taken those books. I wonder if it was the same person. Do you guys think it would be? I kind of hope it was, because I think my Mortal Instrument books were like split across 2 different bags there, so someone got the second half of the series and someone got the start otherwise, but I feel like it was probably the same person. Because if I saw a bag of books down there, I'd probably scoop it too. Absolutely. Watch, someone will put a bunch of those books down in the same spot in a bag. I'll scoop it and realize that I just took all my own books back. That'd be pretty funny. But speaking of books, after talking about Netflix shows and movies and stuff in our other part, a couple of you guys started commenting. So I want to point out, I found out that the movie Dune is based on a book. So I need to find that book because I can't wait for a second movie to come out to find out how it ends. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Not gonna happen. We're gonna hunt that book down. And then someone else told me, because I thought The Witcher, like the Netflix series, was based on a video game called The Witcher, which I had seen clips of, and comparatively the clips of the video game and the Netflix show were fairly similar. But one of you guys, your username is The Melted Chocolate, one of my OG subscribers. Bless, I hope you are starting to feel better, my friend. But you pointed out that The Witcher is actually a novel, and that apparently, the TV show absolutely butchered it and took out a bunch of like the Slavic themes and stuff. So now I'm really intrigued there, because all this time I thought it was just based on a video game. I didn't realize there was a book behind that too. So your girl's just coming away with all kinds of book recommendations, and it's really making me want to renew my Audible subscription, because I know there's some Patricia Briggs books there. I want to check out Dune. I want to check out The Witcher. And now there's a lot of books that I really, really want to read. And I really, really want to focus in on the books I already have. And I have so many on my shelves too that I haven't read yet. Oh, and so many books on my shelves I want to reread. I haven't done a reread of Harry Potter yet this year. Normally I read at least a couple of the Harry Potter books in the fall winter season, because again, nostalgia, comfort vibes. I just get cozy, warm Christmas vibes from it. And I think that's because every year on Christmas Eve, my mom used to have like a little gathering at her house with the neighbors and stuff, and we'd have like dinner and a couple drinks or whatever. And every single year we'd turn on the TV to put a Christmas special on, and the Harry Potter movies would be on. So naturally I commandeered the remote and we'd watch Harry Potter. So now it's like closely related to Christmas for me. And it's just the cozy vibes. It's just the cozy vibes, guys. And I want it so bad. So I think that's probably on my upcoming list. I'm hoping that because my daughter's sick, I don't get sick. I'm hoping that what she has is what I already had, and so I don't get sick. I'm really, really hoping. Speaking of Christmas though, I know we're doing the fall not along and we're talking about Christmas now, but I want you guys to sound off in the comments about this, okay? So what I thought was hilarious was that there was a couple of houses that we went to when we were trick-or-treating, that there was people opening their door and giving out Halloween candy with their fully decorated Christmas tree behind them. Like, you could see it from the door. They had the Christmas lights on, the whole 9 yards, on Halloween night. Now, what are your guys' thoughts on this? Because I know this is like a polarizing topic, and I'm very intrigued to know what everyone's stance is. Some of my friends, in their culture, they say as soon as the Burr months hit, so like September, November, October, I don't know why I said those out of order, but you know what I mean. December, the Burr months hit, the tree goes up. And then there are some people who, with November 11th being Remembrance Day, think that your Christmas tree shouldn't go up until after Remembrance Day. There are some people who, as November 1st hits, the Christmas decorations come down, or the Halloween decorations come down and the Christmas decorations go up. And then there are some people who still think even after November 11th is still too early and don't do until December 1st. So for me, before I had my daughter, we used to do like kind of the middle to tail end in November. I'd start putting Christmas decorations up. My mom was always very dead on, like the 1st of December. You did not do it earlier than that. The 1st of December. And then now my daughter's birthday is the end of November. So we kind of decided that you don't put Christmas decorations up until after her birthday has been celebrated, because we really just didn't want them to kind of merge together and become one. Like, they're two very separate things, and we want to keep it that way. And like, she was originally supposed to be born mid-December, and we were low-key a little bit off-put by that, because we were like, well, what we don't want to happen is for her to have all of her birthday gifts be like Christmas themed, or vice versa. Like, we didn't want them to kind of like cut into each other, take away from each other. So yeah, we always said now it's until after her birthday is done, then you can put up decorations. So that leads me to wonder, what are your guys' dates for putting up Christmas decorations? If you celebrate Christmas, if you don't celebrate Christmas and you have another holiday, sound off down below and let me know when those decorations go up, and if you think that is early or appropriate for whenever your holiday is. I know not all holidays run the exact same dates, so if you are celebrating another holiday, is it the same for that holiday? I'm genuinely curious for decor and stuff on your holiday or for your holiday. Is it as much of a like controversy? It's not even a controversy. Is it as much of a hot topic about when you put those decorations up? Well, let me know. Like, for Hanukkah, is there an appropriate time to start putting decor out for Hanukkah? Or does it all kind of go up around the same time as Christmas stuff? Or, I don't know. I'm genuinely curious. I didn't get to learn a lot about other holidays in school and stuff, so I am just genuinely curious to know more about the holidays outside of Christmas, as well as what people's Christmas traditions are, because I celebrate Christmas and I love hearing people's traditions about Christmas, because I find they're all so different and we all tend to really latch onto them. So let me know down below what your thoughts are. But that gave me a good laugh when we were out trick-or-treating and there was people answering their doors in like full Halloween costume. Their front porch was decorated, and then they have the full-blown Christmas tree lit behind them, and I'm like, this seems a little contradictory here, a little Nightmare Before Christmas-esque, you know? Oh, I haven't watched that this year. Maybe after I'm done. Probably not. I was gonna say maybe after I'm done recording this voiceover I'd watch it, and then I looked at the clock and I was like, I'm not staying up for an entire movie. It's 3 a.m. My sleep schedule is so pooched. I don't know what it is. I think I talked about it in the last part about my sleep just being all over the map. My sleep schedule, I feel like my sleep quality is getting better, but my sleep schedule is completely out to lunch now, so I gotta get back on track. But I am wide awake right now. Wide awake. So tonight will not be the night we get that back on track, but hopefully I'll get it sorted this week, ideally, and get back on track. And then Ertang will be good again. That's what I'm hoping for. Probably won't be, because when is ever anything in life that easy, but I digress. Okay, so far I'm loving how this is looking. I do feel like this light orange is maybe just a tad not the right color. I feel like I would have liked the oranges in this a little more if they were a little more on kind of the burnt or muted side. It does look really cute though, but I do feel like it is a little too light and summery for me. I think I would have preferred it to be, like I said, a little more muted, but it is turning out so cute. I'm really loving how this pattern is coming along. And I'm having a lot of fun with it. And I don't know why, because honestly, I wasn't really, I don't want to say I wasn't expecting to have fun with it, because obviously I picked this pattern out. I thought it was nice, but it was kind of like when I looked at the list of the patterns that I had posted, out of them, this was honestly the one that sparked the least amount of desire out of it. Like, I don't get me wrong, I wanted to do all of them, but for whatever reason, it was like I was more inclined. I really wanted to do the Ouija planchette, which I may still do just on my own. And even though Halloween is past, and I really liked the little Grim Reaper, and don't get me wrong, like I said, I liked all the patterns. Obviously, I picked them, but I find it so interesting that I've become so attached, and like every day I've been looking forward to recording the next part of this, because I've been really enjoying knotting it. So I'm hoping to keep that up, and then maybe into a few more projects after this. I've got so many things lined up. I'm super excited about it, guys. I've got ideas for, obviously I'd like to do another random number generator, because I thought that one was pretty fun. I've got a couple other bracelet video ideas. I'd like to go on to the Alpha Guidebook in part 2 of that. Crochet tutorials, Rex lace tutorials. I've got so many ideas, and I feel like not enough time to execute them. That seems to be everyone's problem though, right? So little time, so much to do. Do you guys remember that show? So Little Time, with Mary-Kate and Ashley? So little time, so much to do. I'd rather waste my days with you. And if that day is not enough, maybe we could get in touch, 'cause I'm not making plans for tomorrow. For tomorrow never comes. Whenever I mention that show to anyone, no one seems to remember it, and I'm like, I can't be the only person who remembers this show. Like, I can't. So please tell me someone remembers that show. Someone has to. I remember I used to go, and my dad would take us to the movie rental store. It was not Blockbuster. It was like an independently owned one in town. And he used to let us pick out like one thing each. And I remember getting like episodes of that show a couple of times. Yeah. And I don't know, whenever I mention it, no one seems to remember it. And I'm like, surely it was Mary-Kate and Ashley. Someone else has to remember this. Anyways, there's been a few shows like that. Like, there was another TV show that I was mentioning, and no one remembered this TV show. And I was like, what do you mean you don't remember this TV show? But does that ever drive you guys nuts when that happens? You like mention a TV show and no one else remembers it. And I remember once someone asked me, I think it was at work actually, someone had asked me if I ever watched Teen Wolf. And I was like, well, no. The last werewolf show I watched that had anything to do with a teen wolf was Big Werewolf on Campus. And they had no idea what I was talking about. And I remember that from like childhood, albeit I was definitely up later than most children my age, because I was a night owl even then, and I would wake up and my mom would let me sit on the couch for a bit, but then she'd fall asleep and I'd be wide awake, so I'd just sit there watching TV until definitely much, much later than I should have been. So I watched a lot of interesting shows as like a 10-year-old, like, you know, CSI, Law and Order, you know, a bunch of that stuff that normal like 8-9-year-olds probably aren't watching, but there you go. Then I found books, and then I switched from sitting on the couch downstairs watching TV when I couldn't go to sleep. I actually people think I'm crazy, but hear me out, okay? So you know how when you're a kid and you go to some restaurants and they have like a treasure box and you get to pick out a toy from the treasure box because like you're a kid and you got your kid's meal or whatever. So you went to a restaurant and they had the treasure box, and I pulled out this keychain, and it was a little airplane and it had a button on top of it, and when you pressed the button down it had like a little red light on the front of it in like the propeller. And then I remember using that to read books by, because my mom thought I was asleep and the red light didn't draw her attention. So then it was hard to like hold the button down and hold my book and flip the pages. So I had one of those animal hammocks that you put like your stuffed animals in, and my room was really, really small, so it was actually above my bed. So I kid you not, guys, I MacGyvered this keychain. I attached it to the bottom of the hammock above my head and used a piece of like Rex lace, and I twisted it up and tied it at the perfect tensity. Tensity? Is that even a word? Maybe it is, and I'm just too tired. It sounds weird. At like the perfect tension, and I was able to, I'd slide the Rex lace down to cover the button on this airplane so it would hold the button down and I could use both hands to read, and it would shine the red light down so it was light enough for me to read. I would read, and then I would push the string off the button and tuck it up in the hammock so my mom wouldn't see it, and like she would have never figured out that's what it was and what I was doing. But I would like tuck it up in the hammock underneath the stuffies, and then every night I would like pull it out, turn the little light on, and read till like 1 o'clock in the morning. Like, I kid you not, I could not stop until I was literally ready to pass out. Has anyone else done anything that ridiculous in the name of books? In the name of books, have you done anything this ridiculous? Because I tell you, that, I think I tell most people that and they're like, wow, you're crazy. So now that that's out in the world, but I feel like if you really enjoy reading, people do stuff like that, especially like when you're a kid. Fun times, fun times. We've talked about books, we've talked about movies, we touched briefly on plants. I don't want to diverge too much into plants because I could go down that avenue like all day. They make me so happy and they reduce my anxiety, and I like them. And my anxiety, honestly, wasn't a huge thing until this last couple years, and now it's like in the forefront, and I'm like, oh, I guess that's a thing I have. Okay, you know? So I have a lot of plants and they bring me a lot of joy, and I could go on about them all day, but I know plants aren't everyone's thing. So, and it's not like the same as books or movies where it's like recommendations and thoughts on it. Just not quite the same, doesn't catch the same audience. Though I would suggest trying a plant, like actually genuinely try. Pick up a plant at the grocery store, do a quick bit of research on it, and find out what it needs, in terms of like water and light, and just try it. Try it. This literally, the girls, my friends at work, there was 2 of us that were super into plants, and the other girls were all like, I just kill everything I touch. I kill everything I touch. And the other girl at work who's super into plants gave everyone in our like department or our position a house plant for Christmas. And then our like group chat, after they got them, they were terrified to kill it because it was given as a gift, right? So after that, they were in the chat like, what do I do with this? What do I do with this? What do I do with this? The amount of messages I got from them, and then when they got embarrassed and didn't want to put in the group chat, I'd get like private messages from them. They'd start texting me, and now they're all obsessed. We have so many plants at work, it's not even funny. But I would really, really suggest giving it a try, because there's something so rewarding about it, seeing it grow and being able to like see it when it puts out new leaves and things. It's very rewarding, and I feel like a lot of people think it's like an old person thing or just not their thing, but I would suggest just try it. Okay? Do me a favor, just try it. It doesn't have to be an expensive plant. It can be like a $5 plant from the grocery store. Just try it. Anyways, now that plant rant is over, what else could we talk about? Anyways, in other news, that snow that had fallen from the sky that I was telling you guys about didn't stick to the ground. We have been waking up every morning with frost though, so it's only a matter of time. We're still getting like a good chunk above 0 though in the daytime, so I'm a wee bit surprised. But I did notice some small shallow areas of water when I was driving by the river starting to freeze along the edges. So winter is coming. It always is, and it stays forever. You know what's funny is I live so far north and I hate winter so much. And it's literally like prolonged because I live up here. But what do you do? I feel like I'd rather live where the air hurts my face than where I open my door and see a deadly animal on my doorstep, you know? Has anyone seen that meme with like, I think the picture said it's like taken in Florida or something, and it's like an alligator halfway climbed up this person's front door, and it says like, why do I live where the air hurts my face? And then it shows the picture and it's like, oh yeah, that's why I live where the air hurts my face. Alright, so we've kind of actually surpassed now my unspoken goal for this part, which was to integrate all the colors in. So we had the light orange, the dark orange, and finally we've just added the metallic in here as well. And to be honest, I feel like the metallic is maybe a smidge thick. I would suggest if you're working with loops or thread or like the standard DMC thread and the sparkle, maybe stripping out 1 or 2 little thin strands of the sparkle. But otherwise, I think I'm just going to leave it and I'll make it work. But I do have to tug a little extra tight on them to make them kind of more even with the line. So I just thought I would mention that. Otherwise, guys, the universe seems to think this is the end goal as well, because it has come up at this point and told me that memory storage is almost full. So with that being said, guys, I hope you enjoyed this part. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up, and until next time,